Y'all, it's time for some damn good tacos in college football. We're excited to announce our title sponsor, Torchy's Tacos, for the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk, and the new addition to the Hogville.net family, the Arkansas pregame show starring former Hog running back Marshall Foreman, hosted by Jason Pattison. If you're looking for a place to unwind and call the Hogs, Torchy's is the place. Torchy's location on MLK in Fayetteville is the proud host of the Arkansas pregame show, and it will air 2 hours prior to kickoff of each Fayetteville home game. The Arkansas Football Report airs every Thursday at 7 p.m. in Rogers. Check out the full-service bar on the patio or in the restaurant while you cheer Arkansas on to victory. Torchy's has you covered with the daily drink specials or the taco of the month with their queso that's made in-house fresh daily. Torchy's has 2 convenient locations in Northwest Arkansas, which happen to be the only 2 locations here in the great state of Arkansas. They have you covered for some damn good tacos, and go Hogs. And good evening, Razorback fans. It is, well, after Snow Como, it's kind of is what it is. I want to thank everybody for joining me this evening on a special post-game show here on Hogville.net, sponsored by Torchy's Tacos and Carbless Cocktails. Go out, check out all of those Carbless's great products. Also Torchy's Tacos, which happens to be the only 2 locations here in the great state of Arkansas, in Rogers and in Fayetteville. Make sure to go over and try any of their damn good tacos with their house-made queso that's made fresh daily, and pair that with any of the great tacos on their menu. Then you'll open your taste buds to a whole new world. And I want to thank, Marcus, Jonathan, and all of their staffs this entire season. It's been great partnership. Tanner's been great as well. And look to have a continuing partnership with them throughout the rest of the year and into next year as well. I don't know how else to put this other than it felt like, and Otis just texted this too, is that it felt like it was the same movie. It was just on repeat, almost kind of like Groundhog Day, where Arkansas had a chance again in Como to win. Last 2 times that they were there was a 2-point game. In 20, it was a 50-48 loss. 2 years ago, it was a 26-24 or 22-24 loss. And now today, again, a 28-21 loss. If you guys have any thoughts, questions, concerns, throw those up here. Got the crawl going as well. And welcome to the Hogville special Arkansas Football Report and a special post-game show here on YouTube. So again, throw those questions, comments, concerns, good, bad, ugly. We're going to kind of dissect this as a whole, going through most of this entire game, just a little bit at a time. So if you guys have those comments, throw those up there. We'll get those. We'll talk about those as well. Again, any topics of the day, good, bad, or ugly, we will go over those. I want to thank everybody for joining us. A quick update, first and foremost, on Landon Jackson. I know that a lot of folks were very concerned with how everything went down after the initial hit. He kind of grabbed his shoulder pads a little bit, then he started to get up on his knees and his hands, lowered himself back down, and then he was taken off the field. He did move his extremities. You saw him on the field move his legs. He got into the tunnel area right before he got onto the ambulance. He was able to move his arms. They did take him over to University Hospital that's right beside the field. They did an x-ray on him. He was cleared, and so he came back to the field at the very end of the game, and he will be traveling back to Fayetteville with the team. So that unfortunate ending, but great news on Landon as far as that goes. You don't want to see a guy with him being a senior and that be the last thing that he has, that, you see that's what the last play that he has as a senior. And so I think that we all can kind of breathe a sigh of relief for the simple fact that he was able to come back and travel with the team to go home. Again, throw those comments, questions, concerns up here, and we'll go over those as we go along here. Again, Arkansas loses 28-21 to Missouri. Arkansas has won 3 times now since 2012 now. I know that there's a substantial push by the university as to making it a rivalry game. I don't see that as a rivalry game. I saw a tweet by Bobby Bones that said, hey, this isn't a rivalry. LSU is our rival. LSU needs to be put back on our schedule as the last day of the game, last game of the season, and also them be, on a Friday like it has been. And then they took it off for stupid reasons with this stupid Battle Line rival. I don't get it. That's my thoughts. That's my 2 cents. I'm not going to go into a whole TED talk about it because that's not what this is about. This is about post-game shows. And as far as how everything kind of unfolded today, my thoughts, comments, and questions I have after this as well. This isn't a rival because it is so lopsided. You can tell that, it gets chippy out there. And I feel like that Drink has pushed that narrative of getting chippy with the Razorback team on the field to try to make it feel like it's a rival, but it still isn't, because you can tell that a lot of the players on that team, I mean, they care, but if they don't win, it's not the end of the world, and who cares about a damn trophy? I mean, that's the way they feel. I mean, I think that some players do, but they, in the end, don't. The boot means more. The Cotton Bowl Classic meant more. This one doesn't mean that much. So, if you have any thoughts on that, please throw those up there. We're going to go over that. We're going to go over Hunter Yurachek stuff. We're also going to go over how the Razorbacks lead FBS in fumbles. We're going to go and we're going to get into that too as well. So, without any further ado, Arkansas wins not one battle in this game. They lost the turnover battle. They lost the third down battle. They lost the scoreboard battle today. End of story. Arkansas loses when they lose the turnover battle. They lost the turnover battle 2-0. And you knew that there was some problems with ball security coming into this game. It favored Missouri. They only had 9 turnovers coming into this game. Now, Arkansas having lost they had fumbled 26 times, lost 11 of them. Taylor Green has thrown 11 interceptions to this point of the season entering today. So you knew that there was going to be that problem. Also, on top of the snow, we've been talking about it ever since Tuesday, whenever Otis and I were live on Tuesday, that there was going to be snow. We just didn't know how much. There was a lot, comparatively speaking, because Arkansas hadn't played in a snow game in 30 years. Missouri hasn't played in a snow game since 1998. So those are some things that if you are not playing in those elements, other than if, players are in other schools, it's something that you have to really prepare for as far as cleats go and understanding what you can and can't do as far as cutting on the field. I feel like there was some spots where that was a little bit dicey at first, but you could tell that the players really got an understanding of it throughout the rest of the game. The killer on that was the very last play Missouri had on offense, where they were able to part the Red Sea in the middle of the defense. There was nobody home in the second and third level, and Brady Cook was able to scamper 30 yards to the end zone for the final score, which was the decisive score in this game. It was very tough to watch how well that defense had played up to that point. You knew that Brady Cook coming into the game had a shoulder injury that he had injured against Alabama, missed a game or two with that, had been kind of laboring it. It wasn't ready today. That's the reason why they threw 6 passes in the first half. It was just abysmal. And you felt pretty good about the Arkansas defense as far as the rush goes, because they've been pretty damn good this season against the rush all season. Now, you take Landon Jackson out of that equation, yeah, you're going to have a step back with that. But I was surprised to see that Anton Juncash got some play time after Landon had came off. You knew that Nico, he was not going to be available. He had shoulder surgery the first of this week. So, first of last week, I do believe it was. So you had some attrition there on the defensive front seven, but they were still able to play pretty good against a really woeful Louisiana Tech offense last week. And then this week, you knew that you were going to have some problems, but the snow was going to negate some of those as far as through the air. So you didn't have to really worry too much on the backside of the defense. They were able to keep a lot of stuff in front of them. The one big play was to Theo Weiss for a 70-yard gain. That was what set up that. And I do believe it was a field goal, and then after that, then they got the ball back, and it was the Brady Cook touchdown after that. So again, throw your comments, questions up here. We'll go over those as well, kind of dissecting a little bit of this game. I did notice that Taylor Green did a really good job after that fumble. Unfortunately, it was a fumble, but he did a good job afterwards securing the ball. I saw that, everybody saw on the TV that Bobby had went over to him right after that happened and was reiterating, not explaining, not coaching, reiterating ball security. You notice, though, too, whenever Taylor started to get into some traffic, the first thing he did was, instead of hold the ball out like he had the first time when he fumbled it, he kept the ball inside. And that did help. It was great to see that Jaquindon Jackson kind of got back on track. He had 3 touchdowns. Today, he has 15 total for the season, which is only second behind Dylan Sampson of Tennessee. So he comes in second at the end of the season as far as rushing touchdown scored in the SEC. Andrew Armstrong, another bright spot. He had 9 balls, I do believe 128 yards this afternoon. I'll have to double check that here in just a second. So I want to thank again Torchy's Tacos and Carbless Cocktails. They have been a great sponsor for us this entire year. They've been great supporters of everything that we have done. Looks like I'm looking at the look that Andrew Hutchinson's putting up on Twitter right now. The reason why I'm mentioning that is because it's abysmal. And this is just awful. This is a Power 5 school, and their press conference room is underneath the stadium, literally underneath the stadium, and there is nothing else there. That's abysmal. That's awful. I mean, Missouri's got to do better than that. They're awful at that. They're seriously awful at that. Quick update here. So Taylor Green, again, 21 of 29 for 229 yards. Now, he did have 11 straight completions this afternoon. He did complete there were a string of completions between the first to the fourth quarter that he had. He was pretty on target. I mean, see here, 21. See, Andrew Armstrong caught 9 of those 21 balls for 128 yards. Jaquindon Jackson, he had 18 carries for 87 yards and a hat trick today. Again, that was great to see him get back on the horse as far as that goes. I have not got an update on Rashad Dubinion. You saw him after the fumble. Looked like he kind of got hurt as well. And then after that, you didn't really see him after that. So once we get an update from the coaching staff, we'll get you guys updated as well. Arkansas was 3 of 11 on third down with 2 turnovers and 377 total yards of offense. They did win the total yards battle, but other than that, they really didn't win anything else. Missouri had 362 total yards. Brady Cook was 10 of 20, passing for 168 yards. And as a team, Missouri and Eli Drinkowitz knew that the game was going to be decided in the trenches. That's why they 47 yards, 47 carries, 193 yards, and 3 touchdowns. 2 of those were by Carroll he had 22 carries, 90 yards, and 2 touchdowns as well. So that's a lot to kind of digest here at first. And I want to thank everybody for jumping on with us this evening for a Hogville postgame special. A quick update on Landon Jackson. Again, he did go through an x-ray at the university hospital. He was cleared and released. He did go back to the stadium at the very end of the game, and he will be traveling with the team back to Fayetteville. So that is great news for Landon and the team as well. I know a lot of folks were kind of worried about that as far as, because it didn't look good. Honestly, it didn't, because when you have a guy go down and then lay there and then not move finally roll him over, and then cut all of his pads off, take off his helmet, get him on a backboard, and then wheel him off in a stretcher. I mean, there's a lot of thoughts, a lot of emotions that go through folks, especially with folks, the coaching staff, his teammates, family for that matter. You don't quite know exactly what's going on because it could be a gambit of things. And luckily it was something that was, it turned out to really be, I don't think anything, for the simple fact that he was able to be released back to the stadium and then travel back with the team as once they get done at Como, and then they'll travel back to Fayetteville. So great to hear news that he is going to be traveling back with the team. Missouri, third down, they were 6 of 15. If I'm not mistaken, they won the third down battle this year. They did win, which kind of leads you to believe that they're getting, they're keeping the defense on the field, which did happen today. That was one of the things that Arkansas was not able to do, was get that defense off the field. There was that one instance where whenever Jaquindon got twisted down after that 15-play score that Missouri made to make it, I do believe it was 14-10. Arkansas had 4 plays total, coughed the ball back up, and then the defense was back on the field again. Those sorts of things really kill the defense as far as energy goes, and stamina for that matter, because it's cold. It did kind of help because they didn't get cold and have to go back out to the field. That was a plus, but still, you cannot let Missouri have the ball in that deep of plus territory on Arkansas. There's no team, hardly any team that I can name that would not be able to capitalize on that. So any way, shape, or form. The defense did give the offense some hope there, because they did force 2 field goals. They did force 2 field goals, so that way the offense did have some opportunities to get back in it, put some more points on the scoreboard. Because if those were 2 touchdowns, this game was way, way out of reach. It would be, if I'm going to guess, probably either 38-14 or 38-21 or 42-21. So that was something that, Arkansas did have that chance, and having a shot at, the very end of the game, the last play of the game, that Hail Mary that Talon threw that did hit a Missouri defender and fall down on the ground incomplete. That was at least Arkansas had a chance. It wasn't that they were on defense trying to prevent it, because if this thing was tied and Missouri had the ball, it was not looking good for Arkansas. Arkansas needed to have the ball last. They did. They had a chance to at least tie the game, and they weren't able to. So again, Missouri comes away with a 28-21 win in Columbia in a snow-covered Saturday. And I love snow games personally. I think they're great, but at the same time, they do present a certain set of issues. Arkansas was able to kind of navigate through those issues pretty well. So I was kind of happy to see that. So we are going to take a small, quick break here for just about a minute or so, and then we'll be back here in just a moment. On the other side, we're going to look at some of the SEC football games that have concluded, and also some that are coming on or that are playing now. And a little later on, we're going to look at the Hunter Yurachek situation, because I feel like that does dictate quite a few situations on the Hill, and we'll get into that here in just a little bit. This is the Hogville.net post-game special after the Missouri game. We'll be back in just a moment.
Y'all, it's time for some damn good tacos in college football. We're excited to announce our title sponsor, Torchy's Tacos, for the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk, and the new addition to the Hogville.net family, the Arkansas pregame show starring former Hog running back Marshall Foreman, hosted by Jason Pattison. If you're looking for a place to unwind and call the Hogs, Torchy's is the place. Torchy's location on MLK in Fayetteville is the proud host of the Arkansas pregame show, and it will air 2 hours prior to kickoff of each Fayetteville home game. The Arkansas Football Report airs every Thursday at 7 p.m. in Rogers. Check out the full-service bar on the patio, or in the restaurant while you cheer Arkansas on to victory, Torchy's has you covered with the daily drink specials or the taco of the month with their queso that's made in-house fresh daily. Torchy's has 2 convenient locations in Northwest Arkansas, which happen to be the only 2 locations here in the great state of Arkansas. They have you covered for some damn good tacos, and go Hogs!
And everybody, welcome back to the Hogville.net post-game special after Arkansas and Missouri in a snow-covered Faroe field. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Again, thank you to Torchy's Tacos and Carbless Cocktails. Try some of the great Torchy's Tacos in Rogers or Fayetteville. They do have a taco of the month. It's kind of a taco, really. It's a quesadilla. I'll throw that up here on screen real quick. That would be the Big Ass Gambler quesadilla. It's got a little bit of brisket, cheese. It has some Diablo sauce on top with a little bit of cilantro and looks like some sour cream on top too. So make sure to try that and any of the great tacos that Torchy's has on their menu. So, and also a special thanks to Carbless Cocktails. Again, they are 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and only 100 calories, 9 different flavors in vodka and tequila. So make sure to try out any of those cocktails in your grocer or also at Torchy's Tacos. I want to thank everybody for joining us this evening. Again, it's kind of a rinse and repeat type situation, or like Otis said, it feels like the Groundhog Day movie. It's just the same thing over again. Teams kind of getting some fights during the game. Arkansas loses. Arkansas loses the turnover battle. They lose the third down battle. And also, they lose the penalty battle as well. I mean, at that point, I want to kind of go over this too before we start looking at some of the teams in the SEC today. Actually, I'm going to take that off here for just a second, because what it comes down to is it has come down to discipline from the coaches down. If you turn the ball over, why are you back on the field? If you are causing stupid penalties, why are you back on the field? You have to show that there are consequences to the actions on the field. And I do believe that, and I'm going to be critical for just a minute, that this coaching staff has been kind of lackadaisical when it comes to that. It has been. And it's unacceptable. Those sorts of things are what get you beat. And it's proof in the pudding. I predicted this team to go 6-6 this season. I thought that the Oklahoma State and Tennessee game would be flipped. Like Sam said at the first of the year, there's going to be a game that they're not supposed to win, and there's going to be a game that they're not supposed to lose. End of story. And that's exactly what it was. Exactly what it was this year. And he predicted that back in August. So, Clint Bryant says, this is pretty good one. I can't stand losing to Missouri. It ruins my weekend. At least it's on Thanksgiving, Clint. And the reason why I say that is because even though it does leave a sour taste in our mouths that we're losing to Missouri, at least you got some great food, hopefully, for Thanksgiving to kind of just, ease into that a little bit. So, again, thank you guys for joining us tonight, or joining me tonight. It's going to be a me show tonight. Other guys are writing. I got most of my story done, so I'll be giving that to Otis, and that'll be posted on Pig Trail Nation here shortly once I get the quotes in, and we'll get that all squared up, and I'll get that out to Otis, and he'll get that out for everybody to read. I have the offense this evening, and so you'll kind of take a look at what I had to say and my takes on how everything came to be today. Sam Pittman did not coach on the side of the field today, or on the sidelines today, for obvious reasons, because of the conditions. He has hip surgery coming up next week. There's no way that he would have been able to go down on that field on the slick surface, and it had nothing to do with him walking on it. It had to do with the fact that if some other player slid into him and he wasn't able to move out of the way, it was going to cause even more damage to him. And that was what we were given as one of the reasons why. So, obvious reasons. And what I want to point out to that too is that you did not see a hiccup in guys coming in, guys coming out on the sidelines on the offense and on the defense. you could tell that Sam was a dedicated CEO this year. He let Bobby do what he did on offense, and T. Will and Coach Wood on the Coach Marcus Woodson on the defensive side. They were doing what they needed to all season long, and it was no hit. There was no hitch in that, and so that was great to see. But I do want to get into the Hunter Yurachek stuff after we go through the SEC today. So let's, without any further ado, let's go ahead and bring that up. So on Friday, you had Ole Miss taking on Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl. I felt like this was going to be a shootout of sorts. Even though Mississippi State's defense was porous, they were horrible. They were a sieve all season. They had a great offense. I felt like they might be able to stay up with Ole Miss, because Ole Miss the last couple of weeks have been down. You don't go, to Florida of all places and lose. That was just a killer. It was a total killer. Mississippi wins 26-24, and I really feel like Ole Miss kind of limped into the to postseason play. Now, with Ohio State losing today, and then also with them losing, and then also with how everything is kind of shaken out in the top, there's a possibility, with Clemson getting beat today too, that either a 3-loss Alabama, or a 3-loss Ole Miss, or a 3-loss Alabama might be able to sneak in there. And now South Carolina might even have a puncher's chance at this too, because they're also 9-3, 4, and it's so crazy to think. So Georgia and Georgia Tech last night was an instant classic, an 8 overtime victory for Georgia, 44-42. Georgia had they were down 17 points in the fourth quarter, able to come back, tie it up, and then it was amazing. It was amazing to see how all that unfolded. I was tweeting about that too, and it was some really fun football on a Friday night. It really was. If you guys have any questions or comments, go ahead and throw those up, and we'll also go over those as well. So again, an 8 overtime victory for Georgia, 44-42 in a rivalry game, which was some good old clean hate. You've got the Governor's Cup that concluded this afternoon. Kentucky really rolled over at the end of the season. They ended the season at 4-8, 3-5 at home, which is kind of a shocker. They lose to Louisville 41-14. It really wasn't a game. I had an idea that it might not be good. I predicted Kentucky to lose 20-3. So Kentucky kind of went over on what I was anticipating their offense to do with Blake Vandegrift. So again, 41-14, it really wasn't that much of a game. Now you've got the Iron Bowl that happened this afternoon. Alabama gets a 28-14 victory over Auburn. I thought that Alabama honestly was going to run away with this game at the very end. They did not. They kind of let Auburn back in the door in the second, third quarter, and especially in the third quarter with that touchdown and the 2-point conversion to kind of to knot it up. And I do believe they knotted it up. I'll have to look at that. But again, Alabama wins 28-14. I really think that you have to look at Hugh Freeze's job security coming into this offseason, because this was the year that they should have been able to maybe get Alabama with Nick Saban stepping down, Kalen DeBoer coming on board, and Hugh Freeze having Alabama's number in the past. Did not happen. So we'll have to see how things unfold on the Plains in this offseason. They may get a bowl nod at 5-7, but there's a possibility they won't either. So the Palmetto State Bowl, and this is kind of an interesting. This is an interesting one. We're going to come back to this in just a minute. There's a tie-in with that. So Tennessee, Vanderbilt. Tennessee this was basically a play-in game for Tennessee. If they win, they're in. They finished the season 10-2 with a 36-23 win at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt took a huge 17-0 lead on Tennessee, and you really thought that Clark Lee and his his group were just going to start to boat race Tennessee. But it's, I don't know, man. It's something about Tennessee now. Nico Iamaleava, he really came through. He was 18 of 26 for 257 yards and 4 touchdowns to lead the way. Dylan Sampson had 25 carries and 178 yards, which Dylan Sampson leads every statistical category in rushing in the SEC this year. He's the top. He'll end up winning the SEC championship as far as being a top rusher in this league. Next, let's see, we're going to go. Okay, so we're going to go to the South Carolina thing because, like I said, there was a tie-in. South Carolina, they're hot right now. They are. They went to Clemson and they beat Clemson 17-14. They scored 10 points in the fourth quarter, and Lenore Sellers had a hell of a game. He had over 330 yards of total offense. He led South Carolina with 16 carries, 166 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And so it's really great to see him explode the way he is as being a freshman quarterback. The tie-in with this is that there was Hunter Yurachek came from Coastal Carolina before he was at Arkansas. He was AD there. He has some tie-ins to Charlotte in that area. I know that he is one of the top 2 candidates for the South Carolina athletic director's position. The AD at Georgia Tech is the other. Now, David Basil did come out and say that he talked to Yurachek this morning and said that, hey, I'm Arkansas. I'm at Arkansas. I'm all Arkansas. I'm not going anywhere. I did feel like that was some coach speak. I did feel like that there was some. I really felt like he was just giving you the not the brush, but just the boilerplate. Hey, this is where I'm at. This is where I love to be. This is where I want to be. That's it. Almost kind of sounded like I want to be here, but this might happen instead. We had some problems with fundraising. They had to let go the top guy at Arkansas NIL Edge whenever they were having some problems fundraising about 8-9 months, less than about 6 months ago. They finally got some boosts with Cal coming on board in basketball with John Tyson and some others in Walmart. But at the same time, he's having to sled pretty hard to get some, money into the coffers to be able to be competitive in football. He's competitive in basketball for right now. That'll turn itself around. Just give it some time, folks. Trust me. Don't jump off the ledge on this one. Just ride with Cal for a little while. It's going to turn out. As far as football goes, though, Sam is going to have surgery next week. He's also going to meet with the guys that are the core 6 probably this weekend before he has surgery. Talk to them about NIL. Talk to them about what he wants to see with them in the future. That also plays into the Hunter Yurachek situation, because whenever you have a change in leadership, everybody is kind of back on pins and needles a little bit, because if the AD sees that fundraising is not helping, if it's not the best it could be, the team is improving, but there's some guys that are kind of on the fence and you need to make a splash higher. Is Sam Pittman your guy? Is Sam Pittman the guy that you want to keep here with Travis Williams and Bobby Petrino? There is some statistics that lead you to believe that Sam, yes, is the guy. What he did with the defense 2 years ago and changed over that staff, and now he's had consistency and continuity with that staff and also bringing in good players. Bobby's only been here for 1 year, but statistically, he has improved this offense. You had Andrew Armstrong, that was the leader in receptions and also in yards this season in the SEC. Now, he had 1 touchdown, but I know that's a crazy stat to think, but that's what happened. This is a power running team. That was their identity. I know that Bobby had talked about this being some of the problems coming into the season, having that identity. This identity of this team is a power running team. Saw that today. Talon was pretty damn good at it. He was pretty damn good today. I mean, the guy was 21 of 29 for 229 yards. Where I make that argument is you're improving that offense. Sam was the CEO today. You saw it on the field where there were no hitches as far as player personnel getting on, getting off the field. There's been times here at Arkansas where the head coach has been on the sidelines and it's been a Chinese fire drill. Pardon the reference. It was a crazy situation where some people had no idea where the hell they were supposed to be with the head coach on the sidelines. And it kind of pointed like he didn't even know where the hell he was supposed to be. But Sam was up in the press box today. T. Will and Bobby were running that thing like a machine on the sidelines. That tells me that Sam has control of this whole entire operation. He is very in control of everything and how everything's ran. And it's smooth. And those coaches respect him. They do. If you have if you think otherwise, please tell me. We'll go over that. We'll talk about it. I'm cool with that. But when it comes down to having change in leadership and then just saying, no, this isn't working. No, that just doesn't play. So let's get back into it. Okay. So, let's see here. We got, Florida taking on Florida State. And that's an interesting tie-in too, because now you know that Gus Malzahn has left University of Central Florida. He is accepted the offensive coordinator position at Florida State with Mike Norvell. There's some Arkansas ties there with both of those guys. Dudley and I were talking a little bit about this too. You know, it almost felt like Gus was trying to ride the wave a little bit. He might be on the way out already at Central Florida, maybe getting out before it's getting bad, and kind of, seeing some of the writing on the wall. Don't know that in particular, but it kind of felt that way with him with him just jumping ship like he did and taking the Florida State job. Florida is up 7-0 in the second quarter with 5 minutes and 28 seconds left in that. See here, we got Oklahoma taking on LSU. I feel like this is kind of a rite of passage for Oklahoma, playing at Death Valley at night. You got that whole entire group there down at Death Valley Tiger Stadium that are pretty lubed up, and you saw the videos of the fans heckling OU as they walked in. I'm sure that they probably are used to that with a whole OU Texas game. It's just a little bit different, and Oklahoma has now taken the lead over LSU with 7:22 left in the second quarter. Oklahoma is up 14-10. Now, the one that I'm most intrigued by is the Texas A&M game. If y'all think about it, way back when, Texas and Texas A&M literally hate each other. I mean, hate each other. Texas would sit there and play the whole, hey, we're the big brother and you are going to bow down to me type thing. And A&M has always accused Texas of cheating and manipulating and getting their way at every turn possible. And in any way of being able to screw Texas A&M, they've always accused Texas of that. So that's one of the games that I'm really anticipating on seeing. It's 0-0, 4 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first quarter. So that is your SEC today. So we're going to take one more quick break. And after that, we're going to kind of sum this up. We'll talk a little bit about which bowl Arkansas might be going to. And you have any ideas too, let me know. I think that we kind of have the same information on that one, but we'll still talk about that. And we'll be right back in just a minute. This is the Arkansas postgame special after the Missouri game.
Y'all, it's time for some damn good tacos in college football. We're excited to announce our title sponsor, Torchy's Tacos, for the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk, and the new addition to the Hogville.net family, the Arkansas pregame show starring former Hog running back Marshall Foreman, hosted by Jason Pattison. If you're looking for a place to unwind and call the Hogs, Torchy's is the place. Torchy's location on MLK in Fayetteville is the proud host of the Arkansas pregame show, and it will air 2 hours prior to kickoff of each Fayetteville home game. The Arkansas Football Report airs every Thursday at 7 p.m. in Rogers. Check out the full-service bar on the patio or in the restaurant while you cheer Arkansas on to victory. Torchy's has you covered with the daily drink specials or the taco of the month with their queso that's made in-house fresh daily. Torchy's has 2 convenient locations in Northwest Arkansas, which happen to be the only 2 locations here in the great state of Arkansas. They have you covered for some damn good tacos, and go Hogs.
And everybody, welcome back to the Hogville.net post-game special after Missouri. Arkansas loses 28-21 to the Missouri Tigers. That was, I think, the second. Arkansas's only got 2 wins against Missouri since they have entered the SEC. I know that some folks have kind of looked at it as being a rivalry. A lot of them haven't. Definitely feels force-fed, and I know that a lot of folks really don't like that. If the SEC wants to do Arkansas and LSU a big favor, a big attaboy, and I know that they probably aren't listening to me, but if they are, hey, put those guys back on day after Christmas and do everybody a favor, because that's a real rival. Arkansas and LSU after Thanksgiving. They should do that. So, a quick update. Landon Jackson, he did have an x-ray at the hospital there in Columbia. He was released, and he did get back to the stadium towards the very end of the game, and that he will be rejoining the team and traveling back to Fayetteville, and that is a great sign and great to hear on Landon, because that was a very scary situation whenever you have a player, and it didn't look that bad at first because it looked like he was coming in from the right side. He goes to tackle the guy, Carroll, and it looks like that Carroll's pads hit him right about here. And then he just kind of falls down. He gets back up on his hands and knees and then lays back down, and then that was it. So you're looking at something that was in the head and neck, area, and those are always very sensitive, and those are very hard to kind of judge. And so you want to make sure that all precautions are taken. They were. The medical staff there at Faroe Field with Missouri, they did a great job in taking care of him. It was great to see. And everything looks to be trending on the upward side for Landon as well. Have not heard anything on the injury to Rashad Dubinion after he got hit pretty hard with that fumble. After that, you didn't see him after that, and so we'll wait to see what the update is there for him. Again, quick, throw your guys' comments, questions, concerns, thoughts of the day, good, bad, or ugly, and we'll answer those here before we get off. Once I get out of here, I'll finish my story. You guys can read any of that that I have, Otis, Dudley, Drake, Jerry, or Kevin have on Pig Trail Nation and Hogville.net, where it's free always. So make sure to like and subscribe here on the YouTube channel, so that way you can get all the updates as far as live shows. You can watch past shows, go on there and watch any of those, and you can read all the message boards as well, because Otis and Dudley have great information, and so does Kevin, on all things Razorbacks. So again, it's always free. I know that we've talked a lot about how the game turned out. We've talked a lot about Hunter Yurachek and what's going to happen with him possibly. He said today that he's where he is. He loves, he loves Arkansas. He does not want to leave. He wants to stay in Fayetteville. But I feel like it's been real hard sledding with him with NIL. You have the revenue share that's going to come up the end of next year. He's going to have to position himself also to where he's not going to get fired. So if he's lacking on that end, those guys seem to get out of town pretty quick and move on. Find another spot that's a little cushy, and they buy themselves a few years and they keep moving. A lot of these athletic directors do not know how revenue sharing is going to impact NIL in totality. Nobody does, because nobody's ever been through this before. It is complete 100% new territory for everybody. There are some people that have an idea. They have all that have positioned themselves in a manner where their schools are starting to look like the front office of a professional sports team. That's what it's going to. That's the model that it's moving to. How fast can Arkansas make that happen? That's what you're going to have to ask yourself. How fast can Arkansas make this happen, and are they willing to make that happen? You want to be on the front side of it. You don't want to be on the back side of it. They've already had problems with being on the back side of NIL, and they already see where that's got them. They cannot afford to get behind on this. They have to be in the forefront. Is Hunter Yurachek that guy that's going to be able to do that? Is Sam Pittman the man that can help with that? That's what we're going to have to see. We're going to look at the bowls for just a second. It looks like Arkansas more than likely will be heading to Memphis in the Liberty Bowl. I think that it's a pretty good bowl as far as fans go. It's pretty easy travel, even from Northwest Arkansas. You're looking at 6 hours, almost about any way you split it, really. I know that drive between Little Rock and West Memphis is pretty boring. It is, but that's okay. You'd be worse. You'd be traveling through middle of Kansas. Ugh, nobody likes that. So, Arkansas taking on a Big 12 opponent. I think that would be kind of a fun thing. Maybe I wouldn't say Kansas State. No, Kansas, or I don't think Kansas is even qualified. Kansas State, I think that might be okay. Last time Arkansas played Kansas State was where Alex Collins went off. That was great to see. No, I'm sorry. Time before that, because it was Kansas and Arkansas 2 years ago, and that crazy game where went to overtime. Should never went to overtime in the first place. But again, yeah, because that was not even going to go into that. But anyway, also there's a chance of the Birmingham Bowl, and I don't think anybody in Arkansas wants to go down to Birmingham, Alabama for a bowl game. That I would rather go sit in an ice storm over at the Liberty Bowl than go down to Birmingham. No, thank you. There is some great history down there, but I'm not in it for the history. I'm in it for the bowl game. I don't want to see Arkansas kick some ass. So that's what I'm in it for. So we'll have to see. I thought there was maybe an outside chance if Arkansas did win today that they would get the Las Vegas Bowl. I don't think that's going to happen. Or I did see that there was a pie in the sky for the Gator Bowl. I think that was going to be predicated on Arkansas winning today. If they would go, that's not going to happen. So I think that the landing spot for Arkansas is going to be the Liberty Bowl, taking on a Big 12 team. I'm going to look at something really quick with you guys for just a moment here. I think that it would be interesting to see maybe K-State, maybe a BYU. That would be an interesting rematch from last year where Arkansas had the game won, then gave it up because of the poorest offensive line that they had. And so, I don't know. We'll have to see where that kind of goes. I don't see that Colorado taking on Arkansas in the Liberty Bowl. I don't see that could happen. So, I mean, there's a couple of things that might have to fall that way. You might see West Virginia, or you might see Texas Tech. That would be kind of interesting too. I think those do pose a couple of good matchups as far as that goes. Let me double check one thing. You have Baylor that's 8-4. That would be David Randa. He's kind of turned that thing around and been kind of quiet turning it around, but he's turned it around. I do want to say this really quick too, and I was thinking about this morning. There is a team that I know that has been worse in one-score games than Arkansas has, and I know that really sounds crazy to think. Go look at Nebraska. Go look at Matt Rule. Go look at what happened this weekend against Iowa. It was awful. You think Arkansas is bad in one-score games? Those jokers that got you beat. So it could always be worse. Just when you think it's bad, it could always be worse, because there's always somebody out there that probably does have it worse as far as schools go. So again, maybe Baylor, maybe another matchup with BYU, possibly. I don't think that would happen because they're 9-2, but I think there's some room there for Arkansas. Maybe Kansas State, Texas Tech, West Virginia, Baylor, somewhere. Hold on, I got one more I got to look at here. This might be fun too. What about TCU? What about Kendall Briles going over back to the Liberty Bowl to face Arkansas? That could be pretty fun. I think that you could probably sell a hell of a lot of tickets for that one too, especially on the Arkansas side. So we'll have to see where that goes. Next Sunday is bowl selection show, so be tuned in. It's on ESPN, and I want to thank you guys for joining me this evening. It has been fun. I've had a great time talking some sports with you guys, and thank you for joining me this evening. It has been a pleasure, and this has been the Hogville.net post-game special, presented by Torchy's Tacos and Carbless Cocktails. Y'all have a great evening, a great rest of your holiday weekend, and go Hogs.
Y'all, it's time for some damn good tacos in college football. We're excited to announce our title sponsor, Torchy's Tacos, for the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk, and the new addition to the Hogville.net family, the Arkansas pregame show starring former Hog running back Marshall Foreman, hosted by Jason Pattison. If you're looking for a place to unwind and call the Hogs, Torchy's is the place. Torchy's location on MLK in Fayetteville is the proud host of the Arkansas pregame show, and it will air 2 hours prior to kickoff of each Fayetteville home game. The Arkansas Football Report airs every Thursday at 7 p.m. in Rogers. Check out the full-service bar on the patio or in the restaurant while you cheer Arkansas on to victory. Torchy's has you covered with the daily drink specials or the taco of the month with their queso that's made in-house fresh daily. Torchy's has 2 convenient locations in Northwest Arkansas, which happen to be the only 2 locations here in the great state of Arkansas. They have you covered for some damn good tacos, and go Hogs.